What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today I'm showing you another Transformers TCG battle card from Wave 2, but I'll tell you what, this one is ridiculous. Earlier today I made a video about the new Grimlock. I told you it was broken, and I told you I meant that in a very literal sense of the word. It went against what the rules of the game are supposed to allow you to do. When I say this card is broken, I mean it in the more colloquial, holy moly, that's ridiculous kind of sense. It is called Leap of Faith, and it's redonk. It has a white icon, which means that when you flip it while attacking or defending, you get to flip an extra 2 battle cards. White icons are good for any deck. And it reads, scrap the top card of your deck, you may play that card. Then scrap another card for the top of your deck, you may play that card. That is over the top good. Now, clearly, this had to have a star cost. This card is way too phenomenal over the top good to just be allowed to be played in every deck. When you play a deck in a Transformers trading card game, you have 25 stars to play with. In Wave 1, those stars could only be spent on character cards. In Wave 2, they can now be spent on battle cards. And ladies and gentlemen, you're probably going to want to spend them on this. We're going to have a look at these star cards at the end of the video, but this is the best one we've seen so far. I was very happy because up till this moment I believed quite strongly, and I know I'm not the only one that does, or did, that Mounted Missiles was the best star card, and I'd been able to reveal that, and I was like, yay! Not anymore, ladies and gentlemen. This is better. The thing is, this gives you an extra 2 cards to play during your turn. General rule of the Transformers trading card game, during your turn you may play an action, play an upgrade, flip a Transformer, and then attack. Well, here you essentially get to play an extra upgrade and an extra action, or 2 extra upgrades, or 2 extra actions. You're basically doubling the amount of things you can do during your turn, with the sole exception that you do not get to flip more. I'm counting attacking as the end of your turn. So you only get 1 flip, but other than that, you get to do double the stuff you should be doing anyway. And this is going to lead to some just frankly ridiculous over-the-top combinations. And it's almost difficult for me to actually talk about all the different things that you can do here. But let's say, for argument's sake, I'm playing a Dinobots deck. Now, I will have to make sure I'm not at 25 stars, but the new Dinobots will allow us to do that. So maybe I play this and all of a sudden I hit a Dino Chomp and I'm like, yay, that's awesome. Now I'm getting bold 5. And then I discard another card and it is Jaws of Steel and I'm like, oh, I've just gained bold 7 from playing a single card. Now, one thing that is important to note, it says you may play the cards. This is extremely important. Because let's take a card like Security Checkpoint. Security Checkpoint has got a double blue icon. That means that when you flip it while you are defending, you add 2 to your defense. That's really good. And a lot of the time it's played for that. But Security Checkpoint reads, each player reveals their hand and scraps all upgrades from it. So if you played a Leap of Faith, and you drew a security checkpoint, or you flipped a security checkpoint, you would have to discard all the upgrades in your hand. That could be a very, very bad thing. You all know my love for Force Field by now, and just to be clear, I am now aware it is an armor, not a utility. My apologies, I did call it a utility. That was silly. Definitely an armor. But of course, if you flip a Force Field while using Leap of Faith, you get to attach it. It was described by Scott Van Essen in his article as incoming transmission and new designs stapled to a brainstorm. Because brainstorm allows you to play 2 cards at once. Incoming transmission is a lovely card that sees quite a lot of play, that lets you draw 2 cards and put a card from your hand on top of your deck. And New Designs is another card that sees a fair amount of play, and that allows you to play an upgrade. And it's kind of like all of that happening in 1 card. And here's the thing. There are some truly dumb combos that can be pulled off with this. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you all of the different actions and upgrade combos. All you need to do, go and look at a deck list, and I've got deck lists on this channel for Insecticons and for double primes. Go and look at like any deck list and just imagine that any of those two cards could be flipped, and you could use them, but you're not forced to. I want to go into some of the other stuff you can do with this, some of the wider stuff. So clearly, I'm thinking, and a lot of you are thinking here, Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend. Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend has a fairly ridiculous skill, possibly the best skill in the game. When you flip battles for this character's attack, but before the defense flips, you may play one of the actions you flipped. So you would here, if you played Leap of Faith, which does have Optimus on, also Hot Rod. You're teasing us now. Give me my Hot Rod card, Transformers. Give me my Hot Rod card. Seriously, I want a Hot Rod card. But anyway, what we have here is a situation where you're flipping, and you're like, oh, I flipped a Leap of Faith. And then you get to play this and potentially play an extra 2 cards. That's a bit ridiculous. And let's not forget about Autobot Mirage. All of a sudden, Autobot Mirage becomes better than it was before. Because Autobot Mirage has a skill whereby when you flip it into alt mode, you can play an action. The thing is, this is actually increasing the amount of stuff that we're doing. Instead of playing an action, you're potentially playing an action and an upgrade, or 2 actions, or 2 upgrades. You're getting more mileage, yes, that is a car pun deliberately, out of Autobot Mirage than you would otherwise be getting. And let's not forget here, Brainstorm. Now, it's exceedingly unlikely, but if you've got a Brainstorm and 2 Leap of Faith in hand, yes, play a Brainstorm, play a Leap of Faith, flip 2 cards, play them both, play another Leap of Faith, flip 2 cards, use them both. Brainstorm could turn into playing 4 in any combination of action cards and upgrades. And here's another thing that I need to mention that I've mentioned in previous videos. This is kind of like Field Communicator, one of the other cards that I spoiled for you. But spoiled in a nice way, I was allowed to, I wasn't being mean. You see, I said that Field Communicator was better than something like Multi-Mission Gear, because Field Communicator lets you discard the top card of your deck and play it when you attach it to a specialist, whereas Multi-Mission Gear does let you play an extra card. It lets you play an extra action, but you've got to have that action in your hand. And if you keep playing stuff from your hand, sooner or later you will run out of stuff in your hand. Whereas Leap of Faith doesn't have that problem. Leap of Faith lets you play the cards from the top of your deck. It is not decreasing the size of your hand, other than actually playing Leap of Faith itself, which means you are gaining a card advantage from this. Not only are you playing 2 extra cards, which is in and of itself nuts, but you're also able to play them without depleting your hand size. Now, one of the other things this allows you to do, one of the things that jumps out to me about this card, this is made for speed decks. This is a card that lets you run through your deck a lot faster than you would otherwise be running through your deck. Sure, we got plenty of cards like Supercharge that give you bold free and therefore let you run through your deck faster, but that's when attacking. This lets you run through your deck faster before you're attacking, and you could still always flip a Supercharge using this and then go through your deck with bold a little bit faster. So if you've got any characters that really want to go through their deck fast, you can do that here. So one deck that I've been fascinated by ever since I first saw Wave 1 and I saw enough cards was Autobot Cosmos and Nemesis Prime. Autobot Cosmos, when you reshuffle your deck while it's attacking, KO the defender if it has 12 stars or fewer. So clearly what you really want to do here is run through your deck as fast as possible and then make sure that you run out of deck while attacking. Doesn't matter what your attack is, you're getting a straight KO. Similarly, Nemesis Prime is another card that really wants to run through its deck as fast as possible, because when you're in bot mode and you reshuffle your scrap pile into your deck because you run out of cards, put the bottom card of your deck face down under this and it gets +3 attack. which means it's another card that wants to run through your deck. And the great thing about this is that Nemesis Prime and Autobot Cosmos, they actually add up to 23 stars. Back in Wave 1, you'd have to go, I'm leaving a couple of stars on the table. Now you can play a couple of Leap of Faith, and Leap of Faith is going to help you run through your deck faster than you otherwise would. And I have scratched the surface of this card here. We are going to want to play smaller decks here so that we can play this. I've been very excited by the idea, as I mentioned in a previous video, of playing Megatron Decepticon Leader with Megatron Arrogant Ruler from Wave 2. Problem is, there are 20 stars between them, so what do? Do I play a 4-star card, maybe something like Wossy? Or do I play a bunch of battle cards? And I've long liked Bolt of Lightning, but I didn't have anything else I wanted. Well, now I'm probably cutting down to 2 Bolt of Lightning so I can play 3 of these. It is that good and that ridiculous and that, frankly, over the top. And if we finish by having a quick look at the other battle cards that take stars here, I do think this is head and shoulders above the rest. Obviously, we've got mounted missiles here, and if you're going full aggro attacking, mounted missiles is great. Double orange pip plus 2 attack doesn't even have to go in your weapon slot. It's phenomenal for attacking. Bolt of Lightning is very, very nice because you get to do a straight 3 damage to an enemy, but it doesn't have a pip, so it's good, but it's only good in some decks. Vandalize was the other one that I got to spoil, yay! And it scraps all weapons, all armors, or all utilities, which is good, but it's incredibly situational. I referred to it in my video as a side deck card because some people are going to absolutely love it, and against other decks, it's going to be largely pointless. And the other one we've seen was shown by the lovely folks over at Vector Sigma. Do make sure you're checking them out. Recon System, which had the orange and blue pip, which is great. And essentially it lets you flip an extra card while attacking or defending, but then you don't get to count the pips from one, which again is very good, and we've now seen 5 of these cards. But I feel extremely strongly that this is the best one of all of them. It really is over the top great. Expect to see people trying out decks of fewer than 25 stars, because getting to play 2 extra upgrade/actions on your turn is just absolutely ridiculous. And this is not Brainstorm. One of the biggest problems with Brainstorm has always been you've got to have Brainstorm and the cards you want to play in your hand. This plays them from the deck. Believe me, that is a heck of a lot more powerful. But I have gushed about this card enough, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for you to gush about this card, and you can do so in the comment section. Go nuts! But please do remember the most important rule as always. Be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk about Transformers and other stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves. Until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.